Good morning. Welcome back to SBJ Weekend Review. I'm Keagan Holsey. To my left is Chad Holsey, and to my right, a new special guest, Brandy Marcinko, who graciously agreed to join last minute. She was here setting some stuff up for BBS right as we were about to start filming the podcast, and now here she is. She did admit that she has never listened to an episode, though. So
ouch!
I know, kind of offended by that.
Sorry.
It's okay. I don't.
But she's here. She's
I
here.
don't blame her. So yeah, she might not even know how things are about to flesh out.
Not at
I
all.
don't, which is a little scary.
To be honest, we really don't either. We wing it every week.
Every week.
It's kind of just something we just hop on and start
We
talking.
have a plan.
Not really. I mean, we have our set things that we talk about. Good thing is there's no sports recap
No
this
sports
week.
recap this week
Because there's nothing to talk about other than soccer, and nobody cares about that.
Well, there's a couple of million people throughout the world that care about soccer.
There's no respectable
we just
people.
Don't happen. Hey, David Fountain's a good dude.
The one guy that I
One
respect.
guy. Okay.
So I heard something on the radio last night.
Okay.
That is like kind of coming about because of the whole soccer phenomenon. Is these people are having watch parties in their neighborhoods, and they're inviting their friends over, people that they don't ever normally talk to, and because they're in their house, they're able to build connections, and like the gospel is being shared because
That's cool.
of these soccer watch parties with all these people who don't normally watch soccer, but they're watching it because it's the thing to do.
Yeah.
And now they're connecting with people they don't normally connect.
I would guess more than 50% are there for the food.
100%. It's just like people who watch the
Absolutely.
Super Bowl.
I just feel
Yeah,
like
I'm
there's
here for
so
the
many other sports that we could share God
So
through.
huge.
Why soccer?
Well, but I mean, if it's happening, it's happening.
I
That's cool.
watched this past week at Christian's house. I watched my first ever soccer game all the way through. Actually, it was 2 weeks ago, and it was Czechia versus South Korea.
Gotcha.
And I've never been so bored.
The only time I ever watch soccer is when I'm with my friend David Fountain, and I watch soccer because he's watching.
Well, even
soccer.
then, we're not watching the screen.
No.
We're talking to David while David's watching.
Absolutely, this is
Soccer,
true. This is
that's-
a true statement.
That's
But
it.
I do ask questions.
Yeah, we are all done with camp. We did have one
Woo!
comment from the great Drew Mulvane. He said, "My favorite podcast," with a heart emoji.
Which one?
The red one. Is that what you mean?
No, what favorite podcast?
Ours. He commented on our podcast.
Our entire podcast. I thought he was talking about a specific one.
No, so that would be an episode.
Oh, I got you.
The whole thing is a podcast.
Well, I like what Drew's thinking.
Yeah, so shout out Drew Mulvane. What a great
Drew.
guy. But we're done with camp. We are moving in now to VBS, which is a good time to have Brandy on because she's kind of the head honcho of VBS. She also, what else would you say that you do? What all ministries are you tapped into here at the church?
Music and
Big.
VBS.
Music and VBS, two very big things.
Yeah.
Yeah, big.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to do a quick, this part's going to be kind of boring for you because
Great.
we do a review of what happened this past week at church.
Okay.
And then as soon as we're done, we'll jump right back to you. But Dad, do you want to go ahead and kick off? Did you do Wednesday?
Did Wednesday. It was good. That Jesus is the door, and it talks about Jesus is the door. He says, I am the door and I am the shepherd. They kind of go together. They're all kind of the same story found in John chapter 10. And a really cool thing is when he talks about being the door, he's the shepherd or the door that's protecting the sheep. We're the sheep. And so we talked about that. We really just talked about how he is the in and the out. He's the protector. He's the provider. He's the door. And so it was really, really good. We had a good group, really good group. We're probably, if our group keeps growing through the summer, we may have to move to the auditorium, which is a good problem. And
Where are y'all currently meeting?
in this the Berean Sunday school class, but we are jammed in there. I mean, it's really, really nice, and but the spirit's good, people are good, and it's just a good deal. Some people are taking the summer off because they do ministries and that kind of stuff, but we have folks that that want to come to church and they aren't so plugged in on Wednesday night. So, but it's good. I mean, I think our numbers of what we're having on Wednesday nights are better than 2 or 3. So we'll take that. I think there was 35, maybe 40 Wednesday. So really, really good. But at camp, we had 2 saved, which is awesome. And we took the most teenagers to camp. That's probably the biggest group we've ever taken to camp, 23. And then like 7 or 8 of them were in extreme. That's the biggest group we've ever had in extreme. So it was a good week. We only had 1 injury. One young man hurt his feet. I don't know how you hurt your feet sliding through the mud.
All I know is we had some of our kids come up to us and go, "Did you hear that he broke 4 toes?"
It was like his foot was falling off.
I was like, "Well, that's
End of the
a
world.
very different conclusion than what the nurses told us.
Yes. Oh man, they were going to have to amputate.
I think every time he told the story, it got worse and worse.
Right.
How many toes?
Well, so you have 4 girls, and like as stories go.
Yeah, it's like when you catch the fish.
Yeah.
You know, the fish started off, this big, and then
Now it's huge.
every time it gets told, that fish grows by 2 or 3 inches.
That thing was huge. Yes. And so, but he's alive, and he was walking well the last day, and I was grateful for that. And so we had a couple of little injuries through the 2 weeks, but all in all, a great 3 camps in 2 weeks. And it's a lot. It's very tiring. But man, fantastic! What a good week. And
It was great, but we're glad to be done.
Yeah, well, so that's the deal. We talked about that in Sunday school, right? How great those 2 weeks are. And then sometimes I feel like I try to rush because I'm like, oh, I'm so tired, that kind of deal. But man, sometimes I need to just slow down and just enjoy the moment, And I think we all can get super busy that we miss the.
Well, I think it's also hard when we know like the whole week we're there and we're like supposed to just like kind of like relax and take pictures, but it's like, hey man, VBS is next week.
Yeah,
like,
no doubt.
And that's like
Yeah.
the busiest week in the summer. It feels like, I don't know. For me, I most exhausted I get teaching 5 days in a row.
That's a lot, well, especially if you don't do that normal. That's a big week.
Yeah, so
it's a big week.
Well, you also, when you're there, you don't know like what's going to stick.
Yeah,
Like you hope that what you're doing is making an impact, but I can tell you as a mom whose kids go and they come home and then they're up and they're doing their quiet times, like that continues.
That's
and maybe
awesome.
it doesn't always continue for months and months on end, but at least continues for a period. And while that was a little bit more than what they were going to do anyways.
Yeah.
And so that's the part that I think you guys, that y'all don't get to see.
Yeah.
Like you get to see the crazy that goes on during the week. But to be able to watch it from a parent standpoint and see the fruit that comes out of it,
Yeah,
the long-term
absolutely.
fruit.
Yeah. Well, and that's truly their goal. That's why the camp's set up, and they always preach that, always teach that. Everything we do here, you can take home. Take it home. We want you to take it home. We're giving you the stuff to go home, and I think that part is really, really cool. It's one of the things I do love about Woodlands. I like a lot of things about Woodlands, but that's one of the things that I really like is they're trying to make it to where this isn't just a 1 week deal. This can be a 52-week deal that you do every year.
And I think if you get those habits to stick, like at Annabelle's age, if she gets to where these things stick, well, then when she gets to high school, she's not going to have what all these other teen campers experience, where it's a camp high for a week and then that all goes away. Whereas if it's a habit that you've formed at that age, high school, you'd be able to carry that through pretty easily instead of trying to start in high school. Because then you got so much going on that it's just like impossible to actually stick to that. But no, camp's great. We've seen a lot of good come from that. Obviously, I think we have kids get saved every year there. So it's
crazy. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Even if it's just one, it's worth going and doing. We did not do anything Saturday.
Yes, we did. You didn't. But as soon as we got back, me, Tracy, Haley, and Alex Pence started decorating for VBS, and we were here for about 8 hours.
I just want to shout out Bo Anderson for having a wedding on the best day ever. So I did not have to help Mom decorate for a wedding.
I want to
for
shout
VBS.
out Tracy Holsey, though, because this place would not be amazing like it is without her.
She got a thank you party last week. We're not giving her
I'm
any more
telling you,
praise.
but I couldn't be there. I was leaving my phone in an Uber in Ohio while they were living their best life. But seriously, hands down, this place always looks amazing, and I'm so grateful for
Did you
her.
get a new phone, or was that phone retrieved?
Listen, let me just tell you how God works. I left the phone in the Uber. I watched this woman pull away. I realized I don't have my phone, and so it was like a scene out of a movie. I'm running after her at the airport, but she doesn't see it, so she keeps driving. Well, I'm like, what am I, like, I can't call her. I can't use the Uber app to be like,
because it's on my phone.
I am stuck. And so I see somebody else who had been at the same convention as me, because we all have T-shirts and hats. So I was like, oh, great. Can I borrow your phone? So I call. Does Scott answer? Absolutely not, because it's like some number from Minnesota. Like, I don't even know where this lady is from. Yeah. And so, no, he thought it was potential spam. So I leave a message. But then I call my mom. Well, praise Jesus, she will always answer the phone for anybody. So she answers. I'm like, this is what's going on. Left my phone. I'll let you know when I get to Atlanta. So I go in, get a ticket printed. I never realized how much I use my phone for entertainment as I'm sitting there and I'm like, well,
Yeah.
now what am I going to do? People watch? And so that's what I did. So get to Atlanta, find another person, use their phone. I called Mom. I was like, hey, just to let you know, I made it. So all that to say, I get home and I'm having to be creative. Well, Uber sends you an email to say, do you want to tip this person? So I was like, not yet, but I need my phone to get out of her. So got a hold of her. She took the phone back to the hotel. The hotel shipped it back to me, and it came back a couple days
crazy.
later.
Nice.
So I didn't have to buy a new one,
Praise
but it
the
was
Lord.
like, it's like my brain. I never realized how much of my life is stored
way
in
attached
this.
to that. Yeah.
It's attached, but also it frees up my mind and my brain to remember other things that
right.
like it can't do. So anyways.
Well, we all said for sure there's no way you're getting that phone back.
It's gone.
We were all like,
drove
oh,
away. It's gone.
She's keeping that and selling it.
And well, so I think what she had told me that she was an accountant and she was going back home to work. Well, I have Find My Phone. So first thing Sarah Grace did was track my phone. Like before I even, when I get home, I walk in, she's like, I know where she lives.
We can go to her house.
And I'm like, well, hopefully we don't have to go knock on her door.
Yeah.
But we got it back.
Nice.
Good.
So then I did send her, when I could finally get the app back, it was like, do you want to tip? I'd love to tip her.
Yeah,
I'd love
absolutely.
to tip her a little extra.
Yes. Fantastic.
So
Because buying a new phone is
it
ridiculous.
would have cost me $1,000
Yeah,
at
yeah.
least.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because then you can't even do a trade-in.
No,
I have nothing
no.
to trade.
Yeah.
It's gone.
So
Brutal. So yeah, Saturday was just decorating. You were
Just
under,
decorating. No.
under Mom's control.
At one point, I'm standing on a ladder, and I'm like, I am so tired. I'm about to fall off this ladder.
For
I'm
me,
tired of being here.
I came straight here from camp, cleaned the church, and then drove straight to North Carolina for a wedding, and then didn't get home till late.
Yeah. So mine was a little different. I came here, then went straight back to Cleveland and picked up the camper, and then drove straight back, and then helped finish decorating. So, it was a fun day, but it ended up with a really good meal, and I love food, so that was really nice. And so, it was a good weekend, and then church, it came early. Sunday was here early. I was like, is it really time? But it's time, so we did.
Yeah.
So,
do you wake up? I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you wake up extra early on Sundays, or do you sleep till like the last possible minute?
So here's the crazy
There is
thing.
no last possible minute with him. 5 o'clock, he cannot stay in bed.
Every now and then I can. So I do have my alarm set. I actually, like say during the school year, my alarm is set an hour later for Sunday, so I can sleep in. But I still want to be here no later than 7:30. And that drives Miss Tracy crazy because she doesn't want to be here until last minute. It's just how she rolls. But what I like to do on a Sunday morning is I like to come in and sit down, go over my Sunday school notes, go over my preaching notes, make sure everything's in place, make sure I have everything I want. I don't like walking in here scrambling and trying to find stuff and do stuff and put stuff together. I want that to all be there, and I want that done before people start arriving, because once people arrive, it's super hard to continue doing stuff, because now they want you to talk to them, which I get that, and they want you to, hey, how are you? We're glad you're here. Thanks for coming. That's expected. So I want to be here 30 minutes before y'all get here. That gives me 30 minutes of just getting my mind in the right place. However, if my body will let me, it is set to where I can get a little bit more sleep, but it doesn't always happen. Because I've been up since 3:30 this morning. Oh. That's how I roll.
Terrible.
So it's terrible.
I woke up at 3 as well, but was able to go back to sleep for a little bit.
So should I just text you and say, hey, bro, you up?
I most likely am. I don't sleep well. Actually, I started taking this supplement, and I was sleeping pretty good throughout the night, and then I stopped, and now I'm back to not being able to sleep.
Gotcha.
I ran out, so I need to go buy more.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was going to say something. It was good. Oh, wait, I was going to say this. this Sunday got here before him, and what is nice about it is you get to walk in and warm up, because most of the time I'm walking in 3 minutes late to worship practice. So as I'm walking in, everybody in the lobby starts talking. I'm like, I don't want to talk yet.
And the thing is, it's like, hey, I'm working. I've got to be on.
So
I've got
to
do. So it's immediate walk in the door. And because you do music, but that whole idea of people expect you to be there, have answers, have solutions, solve the problems. and you're like, well, can I just have like 2 minutes, please?
Now you know why athletes walk in.
Oh yeah,
big headphones and
with
stuff.
headphones on.
That's
Might
what we're
have
gonna
to
start
start
doing.
So that's what we'll all start doing.
We're walking in with big headphones.
come in
on, like,
street clothes with a duffel bag and headphones and get dressed in our office.
have a changing room. That would be awesome.
But even like
You're used for a green room. You're used for the baptistries when they're not being used
Make
for
them
that.
a locker room.
I think people just don't realize how much has to be done and is already in our head, and I'm sure people get frustrated when they're like trying to talk. I'm like, I gotta go.
Well, and I'm real bad, and this is one of my weaknesses as a pastor is as if I'm going to do something and I'm on my way to do that, and people are like, hey, check, go, yeah, because
Tunnel vision.
as soon as they talk to me, or I start talking to them, then I come in here and go, okay, I was coming in here for something, but I don't remember what it was. So I'm one of those, I've got to go do that. And I think a lot of people go, man, he's kind of rude. I don't mean it to be rude. I just know how my brain works. And if I don't take care of it right then I'm going to forget and I'm not going to know. So that's a big problem.
Yeah.
It's a big problem. So,
Sunday school.
talking about Jesus, trying to be like Jesus.
Good thing to talk about.
Talk about mercy and purity. Mercy and a pure heart, mercy and a pure heart. In our class, never mind. Moving on. But just how we all want mercy, we all want grace, but how sometimes we're not good at granting mercy and granting grace, and so I think it goes good. So I've discovered most of the people in our class don't like the videos, so I've been watching the videos and then trying to develop. I feel like the videos would be better if they'd watch them because this guy has some really good stuff to say. And then I'm trying to just bounce off what he has said.
I know exactly what you're saying.
And so...
I think we like the discussion, though.
Yes, the discussion's great, and I enjoyed the discussion, love the discussion. But I just think, man, you guys could learn so much more if you'd listen to Matt Chandler instead of Chad Holsey. That guy has a lot of really good stuff to say.
The few times I do play a video, if I pull it up on the screen, all the teens go, oh.
I know, it's crazy.
Bro.
What are you talking about, man? This is fantastic. What this guy's saying is
This
great.
guy is way better than me.
That's what I say. I'm like, man, this guy is so good, and y'all want me to, okay.
I pulled up a Kyle Idleman video, and they're all like, oh my gosh.
I love Kyle.
I was like, all right. So
Kyle's
from
good.
that point, I've not played another video, except for I was out of town one time, and we played a sermon just because, I don't know.
You're out.
It was last minute, and I didn't have time to get somebody in place.
Well, and that's and so for me, I still feel like they're learning, but in my mind, I'm like, y'all could be learning so much more if you'd watch the video, but they don't want, and so I think it's still going good. I think people are still learning. I think the class discussion as well, and of course we got to break down mercy and what that is, and what does that look like, the difference between mercy and grace, and all those things, and so I still think it's good. I just think
I wish we could do discussion. If I opened up the floor to discussion, it would just be Sarah, Grace, and Amy talking. I don't see anybody else willing to talk.
Well, the apple doesn't fall very far from the tree because if you come to our Sunday school class, I'm usually the one.
I just wish I was like, because I even split them up, boys and girls, hoping that we could have some kind of like conversation style, and like maybe 1 out of the 4 weeks was good, and we actually had like a quality conversation. The other times they just sit there and just.
Well, there are times I'll throw out something like, okay, have you ever? And they look at me and I go, okay, moving on. Because you can tell sometimes I'll throw out stuff that you can tell they've never thought about.
Yeah.
So they're sitting there and you can tell they're thinking about it. So I want them to think about it, but then it's also that awkward silence as they're processing. You're like, okay, we're going to move on.
So one of the ways I've found that I can actually get response and get them to think through stuff is at the end, if I say like, here's 3 questions, just take home, think about it this week.
Oh, nice.
And I say, if you want to, text me the answer that you've come up with. And I've actually gotten a lot of responses through
idea.
that. Like,
Yeah,
I remember like the first time I did it, Kinsey sat down and like really processed them and sent me probably one of the longest texts I've ever got. Yeah. But it was cool. It was like, you're actually thinking through this. This is good. And so doing it that way, I've gotten some responses from the majority of the group, but there's still, most people aren't going to be like.
Well, I wonder if the reason why we don't get the responses is people don't want to be wrong, and people don't want to look silly or dumb. And so I'd rather just sit here and be quiet than to throw out what. But then Kinsey, you gave her the freedom to, where no one else was involved, just you and her, and so she was more willing to have that conversation.
I just think we limit ourselves to so much growth because of insecurity.
100%. A lot of people don't want to. They just don't want to talk in front of people.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think the reason it's easier for me now, it's like when somebody's going to come up and sing for the first time. And I remember when I first started learning to sing in front of people, like I would want to like run off and throw up because like the nerves would be so much. But now, and I'm sure the first time you've talked about the first time you ever preached, and versus now, it's the nerves they're just not there. I mean, every once in a while there may be, but like you do it so much. But if you're not somebody who's used to talking in front of people or, giving presentations or whatever it may be, it's just people don't. Yeah, they're afraid. And
I think, and the nervousness is good because it means you care, but it shouldn't stop you from doing what needs to be done. Yeah, but
it stops a lot.
Well, it's those two words, fear and anxiety. People. I mean, I don't know if I feel like it was bad before COVID, but COVID just ramped it up a couple of notches.
100%.
So, I feel like people are fear of failure, and I think that's the reason why kids today aren't trying or competing or going out for stuff as much as they used to, for fear of anxiety. I think kids don't want to go to camp or go whitewater rafting or go rock climbing or go, for fear of failure, of that anxiety, And of course, I don't want to ever go bungee jumping because
not after that
video.
Okay,
I don't want to do that either. I will. I'll do a lot of things, but that's not on my list.
They got to quit putting uncensored versions of these videos on the internet. Because I don't even go looking for it, and I'm just go, oh my gosh, what is this?
It was awful.
It's crazy. Yeah, that's
awful,
insane.
I'm not bungee jumping in Brazil or wherever she was.
I wanted to, but now that I've seen that, I'm out. I won't do it now.
I'm out.
My Sunday school, I felt like a really good book for us to dive into next. I've never taught out of this book before. But we just wrapped up Ecclesiastes, where we're looking at Solomon, trying to find where a true happiness.
Song of Solomon.
No, gosh, no. Okay. I will never tackle that one.
Okay. Sissy.
It's not really a teen.
It's not really a teen book. I don't think.
I can't even say like Matthew 6 verse 7 without all of them losing their minds. So there's no way I can.
We're not diving into Song of Solomon.
Right.
There's no.
Solomon's awful.
Even if I say like concubine, some of them start snickering. So it's like, there's no way I'm diving into all that.
Nope, that's you.
But
that's funny.
We're looking at Solomon. I forgot she was in here. My bad. We're looking at Solomon, looking at all these different boxes of life, trying to figure out where true happiness and joy comes from. He finds out the only way to have true joy and true freedom is by following God. And then at the end of his life, though, turns away from it. So kind of what we're talking about now, we're in the book of Jude. We're starting in Jude.
Okay.
So it started off by explaining that Jude's name is Judas and the difference between the two Judases.
Nice.
And what separates them. And there's so much. We only read, obviously it's a short book. It's just one chapter. So this whole week we were just in the first two verses. The first verse in his introduction, he introduces himself as a brother to James, but a servant to Jesus.
Because that's his half brother.
And I said, so I'm going to stop even right there again, because I don't think y'all realize how much is being said just right there. I was like, he is also a brother to Jesus, but he doesn't put himself on that same level like he does with James. He says, actually, I'm a servant of Jesus, which you think like it's got to be so much harder for him. Obviously, it's Jesus, but like you grew up with this dude, man. You were playing ball in the backyard, and now you're calling yourself a servant. So we unpacked that. I was like, there's just so much right there. But kind of started off going about how, because obviously Jude's going to get into talking about the cultural time that he's in, and we compared it to now, how there's ideologies being forced on Christians, people walking away, pastors walking away from a ministry that they've been preaching, their whole life, and so. We kind of talked about, how we were just talking like a month ago, the nothing new under the sun. And so it's the same thing here. So Jude's talking about something that's happening way back in biblical times that's still applicable now. And we're talking about, we're going to dive into not walking away from the faith. How we can be confident that we're not going to walk away from the faith. And for this first week, there's just three truths that we can, if we remind ourselves and don't grow numb to the idea of these three truths, that will be rooted in this foundation, and we will be less likely to walk away from this. And in verse 2, he says that we are called, we're loved, and we're kept. And those three things alone. And if we really sit down and process the depth of that, what they all mean, it's very, very hard for us to end up walking away, which we actually did have discussion last week unintentionally. Joey had asked a question there at the end, talking, because we obviously were talking about the concept of walking away from the faith, and not necessarily being like oh, I don't believe in this anymore, but I'm not going to pursue Christ wholeheartedly anymore. I don't see the point in keep striving after this. And one of the things that Joey had brought up is he asked the question, do you believe that we can lose our salvation? And so we got to talk about that for a while, which I thought was really, really cool.
No, great question.
He even brought up, he saw that, he said, I heard somewhere that if you turn your back on Christ, that you lose your salvation. And so I said, well, I would say that I believe if you are able to turn your back on Christ, that you were never saved to begin with. I said, all these things that people have these arguments about how you could lose your salvation. I said, how do you lose something that you can't earn?
Well, and the scripture talks about how once you're saved, you're kept in the hands of God.
And that's what we see in this verse here by Jude.
I'd imagine being kept in the hands of God, I'm pretty secure.
Yeah. So, and I think, I've heard that a million times. How can you lose something you can't earn? And I think that's such a cool
good too.
Reminder, but it shouldn't be an enabler. You shouldn't be like, oh, well, I can't lose this salvation, so I can just live recklessly. And that's why I said,
then that leads to the discussion then. If you live recklessly and you don't value it, then you never had it.
Exactly. And so that's why I said all these different arguments where people say, if you do this, you can lose your salvation. I would argue that all of those things that could be done, you were never saved to begin with. I wouldn't think, because I said, the Bible literally says that the Holy Spirit now dwells in us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's not something that we can just pull out and be like, all right, I'm free from that. It's like, no, we're kept. And so that was kind of the good thing. And then we talked about well, how do I even know? Because I was scared I was going to put doubts in their head about whether or not they're saved. And that's the opposite of what I want to happen, because we see a lot of kids that start having doubts and then think that they need to get saved again. It's like, well, dude, very simply put, if you feel convictions about anything, it's a pretty good sign that, hey, I'm saved. It's stuff that I see all my friends doing this, but if I do it, I feel this conviction about it. Well, that's how you know you're set apart and you're different. And so we talked about the three reminders, breaking them down. What does it mean to be called? I used the example of Texas Tech coach Mike Leach back in 2008 when I was 4 years old. They had a great team.
Very specific.
Yeah.
Yes.
But so they had a great team that was doing great, but their kicker was awful, like one of the worst kickers
Get rid of him.
in college football. Well, at halftime, they did this thing where they brought a random student down to kick a 45-yard field goal, and if he makes it, he wins this cash prize, similar to what Pat McAfee does now. The kid comes down, drills the 45-yarder. Apparently, he kicked in high school, but
putting a uniform on him.
Yeah, he didn't get enough recognition to play in college. Well, he drains that. Mike Leach sends a trainer to say, hey, tell him to come to practice this week. He came to practice that week and was their kicker the rest of the week.
That's awesome.
And so we talked about this is kind of similar to what it means for us to be called, that he just randomly picked us from the crowds. And he said, but it's like, it's all of us. He says, I want you on my team.
Right.
I don't care what kind of background you have. I want you on my team. So what's different, though, is to get that, to be called, it was based on his performance. For us, it's not based on performance at all, how good we can perform. Our performance doesn't justify our calling, but God just calls us because of the performance that he can do through us, regardless of where we come from or what we're capable of. And so that's kind of what we broke down for you're called for love. We just meant, man, dude, Jesus died on the cross. You can't make it any simpler, but also so deep. And I was like, saying that it's easy for us we hear the gospel being presented so many times, especially if we grew up in church, that we grow numb to the message of that. And I was telling them, if you really want to stay locked in with your following God, remind yourself how powerful your salvation alone is. And I said, even I'm guilty of I've heard this gospel presentation a million times, and I kind of check out. And I said, the speaker y'all had at camp this week, his gospel presentation was, and you missed it, but it was,
I missed it.
It was so fresh and such a new way of putting it that I don't know. I had chills listening to the dude. I was like, man, that's good. And I was like, this is the feeling that we should have every time we hear even it just being discussed in a room, because it's that powerful. And then the kept, that's when we broke down. We got into the conversation of losing salvation. So for first week of Jude, it was really, really good. I loved it. Super, and it's crazy how much there is to unpack in just those two simple verses. But yeah, so that was Sunday school. Kind of went a little long there. My bad.
No, it's fine.
Main service.
Father's Day.
Yeah.
My second favorite Sunday of the whole year.
What's the first?
Mother's Day. I love both of them, and they're my favorites. And so we honored and thanked dads, And we are super grateful. For those who are listening, couple of reasons Mother's Day and Father's Days are difficult. First of all, coming up with something fresh and new every year is kind of tough. So that's hard. Number one. Number two, the other difficult thing is there's a lot of emotions tied in with Father's Day and Mother's Day. Good, bad, or indifference, because there's people who don't have dads, people who do have dads, people who want to be dads, but they can't be dads. There's people who their dad was terrible. There's people who've lost their, and so when
or even had a good dad, but he's just gone now. And you still haven't fully processed that.
And you're still really, so it's just a very emotionally packed day that as a pastor, you want to try to traverse through very carefully. Because I don't want to be offensive to anybody. I don't want to hurt anybody. And so trying to manage all that can be very, very tough. And so, which is fine. I think for me, being a dad and not having a dad, Father's Day is a little easier for some reason. Mother's Day for me is a little more emotional because my mom is gone. And so maybe that plays into it as well. But I do know, there's been times when, not at me, but I've seen people be very, very upset over something said that didn't mean to be harmful at all, that offended some folks really bad. And so you just want to be hypersensitive to that, when it comes to preaching the gospel or preaching the Bible, whatever, I don't care. People can deal with it. But Father's Day, Mother's Day, you just kind of, it treads a little harder. But we're talking about 3 things that a good father provides. And if you had a father or somebody that provided these things, we should be thankful. And so, grateful for that. Material possessions, illustration, show me how to do life, how to throw a ball, how to fix a car, that kind of deal. And a father who is a godly example, lives a godly life and does that. And so definitely one of the 3 things I want to strive for as a father. And I was grateful for the men and the women in my life that provided those 3 things for me. And so we talked about it. It was good. It went really well. We had, like I said, we had a good crowd. Music was good. I love that second song. I always loved the second song. And it was fantastic.
One day I'm going to be able to do that song with a quartet, because there are some cool parts that you can do with that song.
Yeah.
I have a quartet version on my phone. In fact, when Annabelle was a little wee tot, it was her very favorite song. She would ask for that same song every single day when we would get in the car. But it's got 4 different parts, and they sing at different times.
Nice.
I'm going to be honest, no idea what song.
I woke up this morning
feeling fine.
Gotcha. It's a good one.
So here's the deal. The first time I heard that song, I was at Willow Park Baptist Church, and I thought, man, when did they come up with that song? Is new and rocking, man. It was so good. Come find out, wasn't that new, but it was great, and I loved it. And then we went to San Angelo, and they didn't sing it. And then we came back here. Then we came here, and I was like, I want to sing it. So we threw it in the mix. I think it's great. And man, it's just one of those songs. Like to really kick off the Sunday morning, there's something about that song, man. It just, come on. So, yep, I love it.
I never heard it until I started coming here.
Really?
And I heard y'all
I love
do
it.
And I was
think it's
like,
great.
all right.
There's a lot of hymns I had never heard until we came here.
Stop it. Come on. Yeah, we did go to.
But also, I very rarely sat in an adult service until we moved here. I was always with
you got to remember, you were in 4th grade.
Yeah.
So, when we moved here. That's crazy to think we were 4th grade when we moved here. So, it's been a minute.
One of my favorite pictures is when we were on the missions trip in the Bahamas, and I was taking a selfie of me and Amy, and Keagan's in the background, photobombing it with this.
I still have that picture.
Goofy looking.
We were
face.
gonna recreate it, but I keep forgetting about it. But
we'll have to do it the next time.
Yeah,
we have to go somewhere where we can get on a bus.
I want us to do a missions trip to Mongolia so bad.
That's so far.
We got people there. We can stay in some yurts.
Here's our problem, though. We land in the capital. We're still a 12-hour drive on dirt roads to get to where they live.
Holy crap.
That's a lot.
12-hour drive on dirt roads.
That's a lot for a one-week
get where they live.
Trip.
It's going to take 3 full days just to get to them.
So
cool.
Would you go back to the DR though?
I've never been.
I'm going to want some filtered water. I'm going to take a life straw, and everything I drink is going to be through a life straw. But yes, I would go. But it's going to have to be, I'm going to have to life straw that or filter everything. I'm going to pour everything, so you buy those with the filter.
Yeah.
I would filter everything through that. I wouldn't just drink anything.
Can't filter that food, though.
That's true. You can't filter the food. Yeah. I don't know if it was the food or I really believe it was the water. But we did see a goat being carried in a bucket headed back to be processed. So at the place we were eating. So you don't ever know.
Is goat good?
If we ate
it, we didn't know
I didn't know it. So
listen,
it was
but
fantastic.
There were
At
some
some
things
point,
I ate that I really didn't. I think that might have been the first time I ever had bologna.
You never had bologna?
No.
You live a sad life.
I did not. I remember my mom buying it as a kid, but I wouldn't eat sandwiches as a kid.
Oh, really?
I still don't eat cold sandwiches. I cannot stand cold lunch meat.
I don't.
It has
It's
to be
not my
hot.
Now, cold bologna, not so good. Now, if you fry it, it's pretty good. But I'm not going to
It's like Spam.
Well, I think they had fried bologna. I think that was like one of the cut up things they served for breakfast.
Well, I'll just go ahead and tell y'all this. You may not have ordered it, but at some point y'all ate goat on that trip.
I guarantee you.
I'm
100%. I believe that.
You might have even had some horse.
I don't know about
I think
that.
they're just throwing whatever they can find.
I didn't see any. I
Now-
didn't see any on the island.
Now, Rick really tries to get us to a decent place to eat. He really tries to take care of you. But DR was, where we went. But we could go to another part of the DR where the Pattons are. And they're going to be here in the fall. I'm super excited about Matt and Flora Patton being here in the fall. I talked to them, but maybe we'll go see them. And that may be really, really good.
I want to go back to Trinidad.
Trinidad was fantastic. I love Trinidad. Probably get Rick Schuster to get us back in Trinidad.
That was a cool place.
Fine. We didn't have any health problems there.
Is that where the purple elephant statue was?
Yeah, so they're Hindus, and so you pull into this Hindu thing, and they have massive, huge, giant.
As a kid, I thought it was the funniest thing ever.
Of course, Rick, as we're going in, this is serious. And then Keagan's over there going, bah! And he goes, Chad, we need to take this. I'm like, I didn't do it. He did it. He would yell at him. So Rick was upset with me because Keagan wasn't behaving.
Also, that reminds me, didn't I also, me and you were in a store or something, and I thought a lady was Barney?
So that's a whole different story. It wasn't there.
Oh, okay.
It was in the Home Depot.
Yeah. I think she's wearing a purple sweatsuit or something, and I went, oh my gosh, it's Barney.
He did. He started yelling, Barney, really loud. And this poor heavy-set lady with the purple sweatsuit on was just standing there, and it was awkward. And it was one of those bad moments in life. So,
well, hey, that is Sunday and Wednesday and Saturday.
Well, we didn't talk. She could talk about music. We'll talk about music.
Well, no. Now I'm saying we're gonna open the floor, and you start going with questions.
Okay, so when you put music together, what are your thoughts? What are you trying to put together when you put music together?
So the first thing I consider is who's singing that particular Sunday.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Everybody has, there are certain songs that different groups of people sing. So that's the one thing I look at. The other thing I do is try to make sure we have a balance of hymns and contemporary music.
Absolutely.
Try to obviously take into account if there's somebody who's not going to be there, if there's an instrument that's not going to be there, or if there is an instrument, if it's a Sunday that Kathy's going to be playing, there are some songs, that are you want the piano because it's fantastic, and then, but if some contemporary songs, there's less of it in there. A lot of times I don't have to do this so much anymore, but when I first started doing it and we were all learning to play together, I would try to keep it so that in the slower set, if I could make it so that all the songs were in the same key, it was a lot easier for the guys to transition. I do still try to do this. So if you may not have realized it, but this past Sunday, all of the songs were in either 3/4 or 6/8 time, because it's easier for Keagan to, it's not that he can't transition, but if he can keep kind of a similar timing, it's easier for the guys, and if we are going to go back and forth, we do the 6/8 timing first and then transition to 4/4. So it's balancing out the timing of the songs.
Sure. Yeah.
So that they just flow and it's a little easier. Sometimes if there's going to be a lot of capos used, I'll try to have it so that it's the same, capo, just to cut down on some of the time.
So for those who don't know what a capo is, it's the thing that they put on their end of their guitar, and if you put it in different frets, it changes. So like you're playing in G, you can put the fret on there and play that. So for Keagan hates when I explain things.
He over-explains way too much on here.
But somebody who doesn't know.
But some people just don't know what a capo is. Yeah. But so what it is, so for me, because I can't play in the key of B, because I hate Bs, they're very difficult, I'll put a capo 2 or 3 and play G, and G is super easy. Yeah. So that's what when she says.
That's not why I get frustrated. He'll do it with like very simple. Like we'll be like, VBS is next week. For those of you that don't know what VBS is, it's a week-long thing. It's like they know what VBS is. We're good. Know. Keep moving.
It's happening tonight, 5:30.
Anyways, but I will say, so like certain holidays are easier to plan for than others. So Father's Day is actually it's one of the easiest song sets to put together.
Yeah.
Because we're singing to our Heavenly Father. We're singing about our Heavenly, like it's like we sang Good Father. We will always sing Good Father on Father's Day.
There you go.
But like Mother's Day can be a little bit of a hard one because there's not really, there are a few old hymns that are for moms.
Mama.
Mary, did you know?
Like, there is that one. But, like Christmas, that can be because there's so many fantastic songs. Yeah. But you've got all of 3 weeks to to do your favorites. Plus, you want to add some new ones and things like that. And then the guys don't love playing Christmas
music is hard to play.
And 4th of July, it's rough.
My favorite song that you've got us playing, and I didn't know it was a song until you had us playing it. Beautiful Star of Bethlehem. Beautiful. That song rocks.
So we learned that song because somebody requested it.
Really?
I had never heard it until somebody.
Love it.
I think they asked you and you asked me or something. I don't remember, but
it's so good.
Now
it's my favorite song we play at Christmas.
I think it's Hugh's favorite song at Christmas time. Hugh and Emmeline.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, Hugh.
Dad wants you to do Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time next year.
No, I'd rather just be shot first. I hate that song. That is my least favorite. Well, it's just because he says the same thing over 5,492 times, and I'm like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Can't handle it. It's more than I can handle.
Yeah.
So,
do you think we should have a more fun audition process for people wanting to join the praise team? Like the current praise team sits in chairs and we all have buttons whatever that show is where we turn around if we want them to be.
Well, let me ask, would you want to audition in that?
No, but I don't have a desire. I'm not begging to sing.
You're already in.
Yeah, I played drums and I'm not even that good at that. So, and there's a new guy who's apparently pretty good at drums, so we might need to replace me with him.
I got to talk to him.
He might be a better fit.
Well, he's a tenor. Let's get him up there singing.
Well,
True.
Listen, we're working on it.
I know. Yeah. I'm just saying. Part of the process. Yeah. And, of course, they haven't been here in 2 weeks, so I don't know what's going on.
We scared them.
We did. We scare people.
They should be They should be here this week. His wife is volunteering in VBS, and he's helping out on the bus Wednesday night.
Oh, nice. Beautiful. Yeah.
What's the current process? People just come up to you and go, hey, I want to sing, and you go, cool.
So,
and that can be tough. Let's just be honest with you. Yeah. That's a difficult thing because you don't want to hurt people. You don't want people to feel like they're whatever. But honestly, some people just can't sing. Some people, are tone deaf or whatever. And so that's a hard balance. I mean,
they're making a joyful noise. That's what my mother-in-law used to say.
But we also got to remember, if they're up there making their joyful noise and everybody else in the auditorium is going, "Oh my gosh!" Well, then we have failed.
Now nobody's worshiping.
Yeah, no one's worshiping. Everybody's going, "What are we doing?" So that's a fine line, isn't it?
I don't think. I think I've only of all the people that are up there, only one. Well, no, actually, of all of the ones who are up there, none of them ever asked. I mean, Tracy was doing it before, and then it was her and Leslie. And then when I started here, I may have told you I did, but I remember you coming to me and asking, "Hey, do you?" And I feel like that was a lot of faith because I don't think you had heard me sing. And
desperate times calls for desperate measures.
Yeah. So this is how I get the role.
Yeah, it happens. You were standing there.
I was standing there, and I told you I could sing, and so you hoped I was telling the truth. But then after that, it was when we would have choir things, and I heard people and things like that. But I don't think I've had anybody really come
Well, I think like even like Alicia, you were somewhere with her and overheard her singing, and you were like,
Yeah, we were at the ribbon cutting for our school when they got their new football field, and sitting there, and we have a worship band at the school, and the kids were playing Goodness of God, and we were both singing along with it, and she was singing so not the melody, but the harmony line. And if you're somebody who can sing a harmony line, you know a little bit about music, because that's not a normal whatever. And so, that's kind of how that one came about.
Well, I think that's, what we need to do is just put people out there. Okay, go stand by them, see if they can sing. Okay, go stand by them, see if they can sing. Go stand by them, see if they can sing. Because I think we have some men that have really good voices, and them jokers are hiding. And
Towery can
God have mercy on your soul. That's all I can say. Whoops. Because you
shouldn't have thrown a name out after you're going to say that.
Up there singing, and you should be a part. And so, but I do. I think there's some people out there that we need. And then there's always every now and then you have this person that thinks they can sing, like Chad Holsey, and he can't. So you just you got to learn if you can do it or not. But
I heard Trent singing at the camping trip. He can sing.
He sang at his last church. Actually, he was on praise team.
So he just likes that church more than us, I guess.
Well, I think there's this line of, in church ministry, it's very easy to overcommit yourself.
You can,
in church ministry, and then what happens when you do that? You burn yourself out, and.
But that's the good. It's not like we just have. He would be the only singer. We got two different
That's true.
squads.
That's kind of where we're trying to.
Which is what we're trying to develop.
The idea is to develop to where we have, I'm just going to use like where I was before. There was people who rotated that were sopranos and altos and a tenor and a bass, and you just rotated sessions like that. That's the dream, is to get to where you've got enough people that naturally can blend together. And do that.
And then I don't think burnout's a thing to Andy. I think he would be upset if we told him to take a week off.
So Andy came up.
I tried.
He just wants to be up there playing.
He said, I can only not play if I'm not here.
Yeah.
I love that.
So
and he even told me that he goes, because you were talking about, we were worried about people being burned out and, different people getting tired or whatever. He came up to me, privately, and he goes, just want you to know, I'm always there. If I'm here, I'm in. I don't need to sit. I'm ready. I said, okay. You're good.
He loves it.
Hey, ready to go. So
and it's good to have people like that. You're like,
no,
I just like playing.
But there are some people though that do need a break every now and then. And really, what we try to do here at Shiloh Baptist Church is create multiple groups, even in kids ministries and nurseries and
I think
and
it's
everything
even more
we do.
important in kids ministries.
Yeah, because you just get to where you're like, oh my gosh. And so if you go a couple of weeks and then you go to Sunday school and get fed and grow for 4, 5, 6 weeks. Then now you're ready. Okay, I can do 2 weeks. Here we go. I'm excited about 2 weeks, and same with singing, and same with all those kind of things. And so I think the whole point is for everybody to keep growing and still doing ministry at the same time. So because it's kind of one of those deals, you got to give, but you also have to receive. And so we here at Shiloh really strive to try to have a good balance on that,
Yeah.
And so that's really where we're at. So
well, that's music. You have any questions about VBS? How she operates?
Hey, well, I know how she operates. She comes in, she tells everybody what to do, and if you don't do it, she kicks you. I know how it works.
You've never
very
seen
clear
a
on VBS.
person in your life.
I know how she is.
Is there like recurring challenges that come with VBS as far as like the people that volunteer?
No, the challenge is just usually,
pastor.
He can be a little difficult to work with sometimes. No, the challenge is really just having enough, especially with teachers. Like what my hope, like my vision is to get to where all of the younger grades, there's a teacher specifically for each grade. So then we can kind of like take advantage of the like we have the classroom space for each one to have their own, but we have to have a few more volunteers. And I get it. Like working with kids it's not for the faint of heart.
No.
The nice thing about VBS though is if you're not in children's ministry on a regular basis, it's 1 week.
Yes.
Let's get in there. Let's
jump in there, make it happen.
Get it done.
Yeah.
But it is also exhausting, and so I think that keeps some people from volunteering. And there are certain areas that it's usually pretty easy to get help. Like a lot of our kitchen ladies, like they rock it.
Yeah,
They like
they're great.
their ministry. crafts and things like that. But I'm stoked because we've got some new people volunteering
got some new
this
blood,
year
fresh
that
blood.
and we've got a lot of couples that are doing it together. Like Sam and Mindy are doing games, and
nice.
they're doing it together.
They're going to end up fighting, but that's great.
Listen, we got high hopes, but like I love to see like the Mackeys. They're coming back this year, and they teach together. I think he teaches, and she just kind of like she makes sure he stays on track.
Stays where he needs to be.
It stays where he needs to be. But I love to see couples that are coming in together, and even if they're not in the same place at the same time, Steve and Yvonne, she'll be in missions, and he's helping with security. But I just love to see the family.
Yeah.
Doing it together. There's just something beautiful about that.
Yeah. What are you doing, man?
Shut up. I think it's always good if couples can get along and do it. Man, how great is that, Some couples aren't good doing that.
No, and we just find them two different places.
Absolutely.
But at least ride in the car.
Yeah, you're riding in the car together. We're doing it. So here the key is, I think Wednesday night we need to have a pep rally for our workers on Wednesday night. At the end of Wednesday night, hey man, we only got 2 more nights because really that's where it starts kicking in. Everybody's pumped. Monday night's great. Tuesday night's good. Thursday night people are starting to go, and then Thursday and Friday people are like, how much longer?
Well, Friday's good because I just know it's over. It's like
over.
As soon as I get done teaching on Friday, it's like this weight's lifted. I'm like, we're done. No more.
Yeah.
VBS is one of those things I always dread it leading up to it, and then during it I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Getting to see all those new people, and we usually grow like a ton after VBS. Like half of our group right now on a regular basis we met through VBS. And so it's like, man, there's so much good that comes from it that, man, I can just suck it up and deal with it for a week and get it done.
I love me personally. I love VBS.
Yeah, because you're just the fun guy.
I am the fun guy.
That's it.
And I've put
you literally have the best job.
Well, you want to switch?
Sure.
No, I'm good. Anyhow,
gladly.
I love what I get to do, and I like being the hype guy. I like being the kind of fun guy maybe. But what people don't know is the hours it took to set up the slideshow and the game and like that slideshow file that I just downloaded on that computer. It took it a minute to download. There's so much stuff on there. So but anyhow, no, I love that part. And you're right. I do have the best of that world. But yeah, I like VBS and for me. So as a pastor, I love seeing church people doing church together, doing ministry. You know what I mean? It's cool to see all those people in a row,
especially something like that because there's so many. The roles are so diverse.
That's
you
what I'm
have
saying.
such a strange collection of people. They're like,
so great.
We're all so different and using our roles to the best of our ability.
And I love that.
I also think to me, VBS is the week that's like a glimpse as to what the early church was like. Right? When it talks about the breaking of the bread and eating together every single day.
Yeah.
It's like, when you're in there and you see everybody eating and it's day after day after day and you think, good night. Like that's how the first church grew.
Yeah.
Like eating.
Well, and honestly, we have seen growth, especially the youth department, the last 2 or 3 years from VBS.
Yeah.
And a lot of people can't say that. A lot of people can't say, yeah, we did VBS and we had some growth. We've actually seen growth through our VBS, which has been phenomenal. We've gained families and kids.
I wish they'd all stay because we had like 40 something signed up last year.
That's what I'm saying.
Running 40.
Fantastic. So,
wow.
So where are we at with sign up? Do we know how many people are signed up right now?
As of a week ago, it was 70.
Nice.
We usually have some that I haven't checked it today. In fact, Pam had sent me a text asking about it. But we usually get a chunk the first day.
Yeah.
And then, we have our bus ministry. And those, we usually don't know who all's coming with that until they get here.
Day up, yeah.
At least for my class, the first day is like the biggest. And then
Always.
Tuesday's either a little bit bigger or it's smaller. And then from then on, it just slowly gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Yeah. And I'm always like, am I doing something wrong?
No, that's how the trend of VBS goes.
This is crazy.
That's the trend of VBS.
It usually kind of goes up and then starts to.
Yeah. So you start here Monday, you hit, and you may go here, and then typically Thursday and Friday you go down a little bit.
Crazy.
But you'll dial in that number, and that number will be okay. Well, say you hit that peak, and then you'll drop just a few, and then it'll level out for the rest of the week. But that's that's how VBS rolls. So we have a lot of people that go, well, we can go for a couple of days, but then we're leaving town on the weekend or whatever, and that just happens, Or a kid gets sick, or a kid gets tired, or the parents are like, I'm not taking you tonight. I'm tired. You're tired. We're tired. We're all staying home. That kind of a deal. You've been a brat, so you don't get to go. So, but yeah.
What's our record of students in attendance during a VBS?
103.
103. I want 120 this year then. We can do that.
I thought we were going for 996.
That's not reachable.
I feel like that's like the whole county.
Yeah.
We want every kid in the county to come. That'd be great, though, if they did.
That would be cool.
And the other thing is we have a couple of churches here in town that are doing the exact same week. So that's the hard part, is trying to find a week when no one else is doing it. But I think we're still reaching. I think people still know, and people are still coming. And so
nobody does it like us.
We do it. So I think it's good. So I'm excited. About tonight. And
do you have any other questions, comments, or concerns for Miss Marcinko?
No. I'm glad she decided to hang out with us this afternoon.
Good little last minute.
It was so much fun.
Well, we'll get you back on another time.
This is a typical podcast. Sometimes we do a top 5 or whatever. So,
Annabelle, you want to come say something to the people?
You want to say something, Annabelle?
She said absolutely not.
Annabelle is not.
Maybe next week we do a top 5 of VBS.
Yes.
Oof.
Your top 5.
There's going to be so much to unpack.
There'll be a lot to talk about. Well, and we could even spend another hour. Like if we wanted to go back and talk about camp, we could spend an hour on camp. So at some point you got to go, okay, have the people had enough, or have we not given them enough? And so that's where the line is, right?
I don't know if I could do an hour on camp.
You don't think?
We're so removed. We're just kind of watching.
I know, but we've not gone into any details of the day-to-day of what's happening. Oh, I could go.
It's the same. Games and chapels and meals. I don't really know how to go in depth on that.
I think I can. But anyhow, some people have skills and some people don't.
The skill of over-explaining.
The skill of, that's probably that is the issue, right? I over-explain.
But I think, okay, but what he's really good at is filling time. And that in and of itself is a skill.
Thank you.
Like if you have to give a presentation or a speech or something like that,
but
you got to have it for a certain amount of time. Like it
quality is more important. Quality over length.
But he's got quality, but sometimes you got to have quantity.
And I got 20 minutes tonight, and I've got at least 25
Nobody
minutes
tunes into this podcast going, I hope to God he explains what a capo is. Nobody cares.
They do. Hey, in the comments, somebody say, thank you, Chad, for explaining the capo to me, please.
You're way too loud.
That way he knows.
So
tell me to be way too loud.
Well, because when you do like that, it sounds really bad on the audio.
I don't care.
So I'm trying to help you. That way people can hear you.
Somebody send a thank you and for explaining the capo, please.
Anyways,
please.
We're coming up on an hour here, so we're going to go ahead and wrap. Hopefully we see a bunch of you guys tonight. If not, no Wednesday night this week. We'll see you on Sunday. But thank you all for listening. Have a good week.